we will be beginning with Act 1, Scene 2, and you have, I hope, gone through what I have taught in Act 1, Scene 1. Just for a brief recapitulation, in Act 1, Scene 1, we'll just remember the characters who had played their roles. There were citizens, the plebeians, and there were two tribunes, Flavius and Marullus. Well, who are tribunes? Tribunes are actually those government officials who are chosen by the people to look after the interests of the public. So they are chosen by the people, and they are actually responsible for looking after the welfare of the people. So such two people are the tribunes. Such two people are Marullus and Flavius. Now, when I'll be doing Act 1, Scene 2, I'll start the scene directly. So it is Scene 2, Rome, a public place. Enter in procession with music, Caesar, Antony for the course, for which course I'll explain in the lines to follow. Calpurnia, he is Caesar's wife. Portia, she is Brutus's wife. Decius, Cicero, Brutus, Cassius, Casca, followed by a great crowd, amongst which is a soothsayer. Now, who is a soothsayer? A soothsayer is somebody who can foresee the future, and well, he has a part to play. We'll come to know about that. After them, Marullus and Flavius. Do we know Marullus and Flavius? Yes, we certainly know them. They are the tribunes, and they had their part to play in Act 1, Scene 1. Okay, here we go. Caesar, Calpurnia, Casca, peace, hope. Caesar speaks. Music ceases. That is, the music stops, because Caesar is talking, and he has to be listened to. Caesar, Calpurnia says, "Here, my lord." Caesar, stand you directly in Antonius's way when he doth run his course. Antonius. So what does Caesar say? He orders Calpurnia, his wife, who is unfortunately childless. She is known as a barren lady. She has borne no children so far, and she is supposed to stand in front of Caesar. Is ordering her. Caesar is ordering her. Remember, let me just stop here to tell you something, that this is a drama. This is a play. So everything has to be written and understood in the present tense, as if the thing is being enacted in front of you. So that is why I'm using this particular, I'm saying that Caesar is telling Calpurnia to stand in Antonius's way when he is running his course. When he will be running his course, that is, Caesar and Calpurnia is supposed to stand on the way, on the route on which this Antonius runs his course. The route on which Antonius will be running. Now, this is the feast of Lupercal. We will be just getting into that. I'll be explaining it. And it is during this feast of Lupercal that these people, Antonius is supposed to be running naked, and he will be carrying with him in his hand thongs. Thongs are strips of leather, and if he touches, and if ladies are touched by these, they are beaten by the leather thongs. thongs, thongs, they are strips of leather. So Antonius is supposed to do that, and it is believed that ladies are cured of their barrenness. They no longer remain barren, and so this is the idea, and this is the reason why Caesar is telling Calpurnia to stand on the way, on indirectly in Antonius's way, when he doth run his course. Antonius, so Caesar calls Antonius. Antonius says, Caesar, my lord. Caesar, forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia. That is, please do not forget to touch Calpurnia when you are running, when you are speeding. When in your speed means because you will be running along, and because in your speed you will be running at a certain speed, but even then please do not forget to touch Calpurnia. Okay, forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia, for our elders say the Baron, touched in this holy chase, shake off their sterile curse. That is, the sterility or the barrenness is believed to be a curse, and if if the ladies, if the women, they are touched in this holy chase, that is, it is a ritual which is followed during the feast of Lupercal, and it is the elders say, that is, the elders of the society, the people who are elderly, people who are full of wisdom, and people who believe in all rituals, they believe that when the barren women, they are touched by the people who are running naked during the course of the feast of Lupercal, they are cured of their barrenness. They are shaken of their sterile curse. Okay. Antony says, I shall remember when Caesar says do this, it is performed. That is, if Caesar is ordering me, it is definitely understood to be. It is my duty to carry it on. I definitely will obey your orders. So it will definitely be done. Just then, Caesar says, set on, and that's so proceed and leave no ceremony out. Set on and leave no ceremony out. So proceed and leave no ceremony out. That is, nothing should be left out. So let us perform everything perfectly well. Okay. And then music is played. Now the soothsayer, he shouts, Caesar. Caesar says, ha, who calls? Casca, bid every noise be still. Peace yet again. Casca calls for peace again, because that person has to be heard, whoever is calling out for Caesar. So the music ceases. Caesar says, who is it in the press that calls on me? That is, who is it in the press? Press here means the crowd, the throng of people who are following them. So who is it in the press that calls for me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music. So Caesar can hear somebody's voice whose voice happens to be shriller than all the music which is being played around him. So he can, and with the noise around him, with the hubbub around him, with everything around him, but it is very shrill. It can be heard. So Caesar is able to hear that. Soothsayer. No, I hear a tongue shriller than all the music. Cry, Caesar, speak. Caesar is turned to hear. So Caesar says, cry, Caesar. That is, call out for Caesar. Speak. Caesar is turned to hear. That is, Caesar actually has to turn to hear because he is deaf in one ear. And we will come to know in which ear he is deaf in. Okay. So, soothsayer says, beware the Ides of March. Now, Ides of March, the date is the 15th of March. So, soothsayer asked him to beware of the, soothsayer says, beware the Ides of March, that is, be very careful on the Ides of March. You have to be very cautious, you have to be careful. on that particular date. Caesar says, what man is that? Brutus says, a soothsayer, bids you beware the Ides of March. So Caesar says, he is a dreamer, let us leave him, pass. So that means Caesar, he is not willing to pay heed, not willing to pay much attention to this person, and he says that is he is a dreamer, that is he must be dreaming about something, so let us leave him there and let us move on. Pass means let us proceed and let us move on. Okay. Senate exempt all except Brutus and Cassius. So except Brutus and Cassius, the rest of the crowd moves out of the stage. Okay, so if the stage is Rome, a public place, then all other people move away except Brutus and Cassius, and we are going to go through their conversation in the lines to follow. Cassius says, will you go see the order of the course? That is the course, the run which will be organized, the run which will be there in the Feast of Lupercal. So Cassius is asking Brutus, that is, do you want to go and watch the order of the course? That is, can we go there? To which Brutus says, not I. He is not interested. Cassius, I pray you do. That is, Cassius, he is requesting Brutus, that is, he is saying that, please let us go. So, but Brutus says, to which he says, I am not game, sir. That is, I do lack some part of the quick spirit that is in Antony. That is, I am not game, sir. I don't like that fun and frolic, and I'm not like Antony. And especially now, I'm not feeling like it, rather. I'm not game, sir, and I do lack some part of the quick spirit that is in Antony. I'm not much fond of sport and of the frivolous spirit and all the frivolous pursuits, and just like Antony is, well, I'm not like him, and I'm not interested in going. And he continues to say, let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. Let me not stop you from going. Your desires are your desires. I don't want to curb them, and let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you. That is, I'll leave you and I'll go away. You may proceed. Cassius becomes serious. He says, Brutus, I do observe you now of late. That is, for the past few days I have been observing you. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. That is, so long I was accustomed to an amount of good behavior extended to me from you, and of late I have found that I have not from your eyes that gentleness, that softness with which you used to talk to me, with which you used to behave with me, is not there for quite a few days from the past. And the show of love as I was wont to have, W-O-N-T, that is accustomed. Okay, that as I was accustomed to have, I have not been receiving it for quite some time, for quite a few days in the past. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand. That is, you have become, you're extending a very hard exterior. That is, you have become quite, you're not as soft as you used to be. And you are very stubborn. You are doing something, you are not getting motivated by me, you are stubborn, and you are doing exactly what you want to do yourself over your friend, and you bear too strange a hand, and two strangers hand over your friend that loves you. He says, Cassius says, I'm a friend who loves you, and I love you very much. So, and you are extending a very hard hand towards me, and so it's very clear that Cassius is hurt. Brutus says, Cassius, be not deceived. That is, Brutus is requesting his friend, that is Cassius, don't get cheated, don't feel deceived, don't feel cheated. If I have veiled my look, that is, if I have somehow covered up my look with something else, so with some other type of behavior, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. That is, if I am not looking as I was looking previously, if I am not behaving as I had been behaving in the past, then please, I take the responsibility to myself, and I turn the trouble of my countenance of the way I look entirely upon myself. That is, Brutus says, I am responsible entirely and nobody else is. Vexed I am of late. That is, I am vexed of late. Of late, Brutus is extremely troubled. With passions of some difference. That is, what difference? That is, he is concerned about Rome. Just remember this very clearly. Here he says, vexed I am of late with passions of some difference. So he is troubled in his heart. He is torn inside his heart. He is torn between Caesar and Rome. He has passions for both. He has passions for Rome. He has passions for Caesar. He loves Caesar. He loves Rome. Yet, he feels that to keep the honor of Rome, Caesar should not be supported. That is because he is feeling that, and because at the same time he loves Caesar very much, he is torn in his heart. This is why he says, he is of late with passions of some difference. He is vexed. He says, vexed I am of late with passions of some difference. Passion for Rome, passion for Julius Caesar. And there is a difference in both the passions, because and there is a difference because he cannot support Julius Caesar. He cannot accept Julius Caesar if he is accepting Rome. Conceptions only proper to myself. That is, these conceptions have been prepared by himself. It is something he personally believes in, which gives some soil perhaps to my behavior. Giving some soil perhaps to my behavior is giving some reason, throwing some light, allowing people to believe. So he is trying to make Cassius understand that this is the reason he is not very soft in his behavior as he had been in the past. So this is the reason he is being a bit tough. He is being tough towards Cassius. Okay. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved. So among all my good friends, you are also one. You are also one of my good friends. I don't want any of my good friends to be grieved, to be saddened because of my behavior. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number Cassius, be you one. Nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, and you will not consider, and you will not henceforth be disturbed or agitated or saddened by my behavior, because, and you will not give any, you will not be bothered actually. You should not be bothered. You just take things like the way I am explaining. That is, I am at trouble within my own self. That poor Brutus with himself at war. Brutus is admitting that he is himself at war and he is just not able to extend very good behavior. So that is why he is asking Cassius to be considerate in a way and to understand the reason why he is behaving in such a harsh, supposedly harsh way. Cassius is definitely getting saddened. He's feeling sad because of because of the behavior extended to him by Brutus, his all-time good friend. Than that poor Brutus, nor construe any further my neglect, than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men. That is, Brutus himself being at war, he forgets because he becomes absent-minded, he forgets the show of love to other men. Now Cassius says, then Brutus, I have much mistook your passion. So Cassius says, okay, so then I must have misunderstood your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face? So I remember Cassius says that this heart of mine has got a lot of good memories. All the good words that you've said in the past, I remember them. And thoughts of great value which you have shared with me, and worthy cogitations. Okay, and I have reflections of great words from you, great words of great importance from you, I have heard. So I don't remember them. All those are buried in my heart. I remember them. They are very deep in my heart. Okay. Now he says, tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face? Brutus says, no, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself. So he says, no, I cannot see what is on my face, for my eye cannot see itself, not by reflection, but by reflection by some other things. That is, I can see myself, I can understand what is on my face only by reflection from some other face, from some other surface. Now, what type of surface, before I go further explain, what type of surface do you think can reflect? How can you see your image, your own image? You can see your image you can see your image in a mirror. Okay. If you can see your image in a mirror, which is reflected from a mirror, so that means what? It is a mirror who reflects back. There can be some other people also who are good friends, who can reflect back, who can tell you the way you exactly look like. Yes, good friends are always very truthful, and they don't wait for your reaction. They will simply tell you what exactly is going what exactly is if you are wearing a, that is, if you are wearing a good look, they'll tell you. If you're wearing a troubled look, they'll tell you. Alright, so let's move on. Cassius, it is just. So what does Brutus say? But by reflection, by some other things. Cassius says, yes, that's correct. It is just. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that it is very much sad, it is very much regretted, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye. That is, he says, that is, there are no such mirrors, very unfortunately. It is very much regretted, it is very much lamented, it means it is very much regretted, that is, who will turn your worthiness, whatever you are actually capable of, what you are actually capable of, what goodness you possess. So he says, you have no such mirrors. Who can tell you that? As will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye. Then you might see your that you might see your shadow. That is, if you are here, shadow in this case is reflection. That is, nobody is here who will actually tell you your worth, what exactly you are. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar. That is, he has heard, he is saying, Cassius, where many of the best respect in Rome, that is, many people in Rome, they best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar. That is, people are respecting Caesar, and except immortal Caesar, he is actually trying to be very sarcastic when he's saying Caesar is immortal. You can understand in the gradually in the lines to follow. Except immortal Caesar, that is, Caesar is immortal. Okay, very good. People are praising him. People know the best in him. Okay, and in the whole of Rome, people are also speaking of Brutus. That is, apart from immortal Caesar, again I'm saying Caesar is, Cassius is being sarcastic when he is saying that Caesar is immortal. So he is saying that except immortal Caesar, people are also speaking of Brutus. Okay. And groaning underneath this age's yoke, as though people are suffering from the oppression extended to them by Caesar. Cassius happens to say that Caesar is actually keeping people oppressed, making people suffer, and in that, people are remembering Brutus. Speaking of Brutus, and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus has had his eyes. So people are wishing, as they are suffering, that is, if only noble Brutus would have his eyes, means if he would be aware of himself, of the qualities which he has inside him. If only he is aware. People are just wishing for that. Now Brutus says, into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me? Now Cassius, what dangers are you leading me to? You want to dive into myself and find out those good character traits which are actually perhaps not in me. Cassius, therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. So, in this case, who is actually being the mirror? Cassius is trying his best to be the mirror. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, that is, you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection. That is, if your image is reflected, you can see yourself much better, you can understand yourself much better. Eye your glass, that is, Cassius is going to be his glass. Glass means mirror in this case. Will modestly discover to yourself so well as by reflection. That is, I will unfold the qualities which you have. I'll help you to discover your own self, and that of yourself which you yet know not of. I will help you to discover yourself, of the character traits, of the qualities which you have in you, which you are perhaps not yet aware of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus. That is, Were I a common laughter, or did used to stale with ordinary youth, oaths my love to every new protester? If you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard, and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous. That is actually in Shakespeare's drama. All lines happen to be important, as I've said, and he says that is, I'm not of the habit of going on praising everybody I come across, and if you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard, and after scandal them, that is, if you know that I have that I am after that is what he is doing now. Cassius, he is actually trying to bring out the good qualities in Brutus. So Brutus, in order that Brutus can have full faith in him, he is saying that I do not do this to everybody I meet. I do not do this to people and behave nicely with them and afterwards scandalize them. I don't do that. Or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, that is, if you can understand, if you feel that I profess myself, I practice in declare my friendship to everybody in the mob, then you can hold me dangerous. But am I actually that? It is not true. Okay, so I am trying my best to discover the points, the qualities which you have, and to make yourself aware of, at which there is flourish and shout can be heard. Okay, so Brutus says, what means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king. Important again. Brutus says, what means this shouting? So he is a bit troubled. I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king. Cassius immediately snatches the point. He says, "Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so? So are you feeling frightened? Do you fear that Caesar is being chosen as the king? So may I think that you don't want this to happen?" Brutus says, "I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long?" Brutus says, "I would not, Cassius. I don't want him to be the king. Yet I love him very much. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? Why are you holding me back for such a long time here? What is it that you would impart to me? What exactly do you want me to understand? If it be aught toward the general good, if it is for the general good of Rome, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. That is, I will be looking, because of my honor for Rome and death in the other, I will look at both indifferently. I will look at both separately. That is, honor for Rome and Caesar, his feelings for Caesar are both actually totally different. Though he loves Rome and Caesar absolutely equally well, perhaps. So what a contrast. He loves Caesar, yet he doesn't want him to be the king of Rome. So a point to really ponder on, and this particular part is awfully important. Actually, I keep repeating that all the lines of Shakespeare, whatever is written, all the lines in his drama are important. So what you have to do is to keep reading up every day. If you keep reading every day, then I feel that it should not be a problem at all. And you have to remember the words, the meanings of the words well.